Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. A lot of people have so many questions to ask this administration and also white men because the things that I am saying at this point in time tells me a lot. Sometimes I feel like some people were actually not raised in love and with love, and it shows because any human being that would plan for your downfall, even when they say that you are innocent, must really be a very horrible person. And then the same people that want you to suffer are the people that scream Christianity more. Forget about it. Christianity is far away from people. And God is very far away. I am not God and I am not angel, but I know that some people are far away from knowing God. Why are they looking for a way to still tag black people into it? With everything that has happened, you all can see that these people are already angry over what I cannot tell, but their anger or whatever frustration that is happening now is actually them that caused it. The last time I checked, black people are not in their space for this administration. They've been far away. They've been minding their business and they are still looking for a way to drag them out. Black people have been avoiding them all this while. But they will never let you be. They will never leave you. One thing I know for sure is that he who lived by sword, that is actually something that is in the Bible. Let's get into this video.
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority-serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table. You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax cut. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it. We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white folk are with us. They're with us, right? We got the Asian Americans who woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them, right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, whoa, we see you. Y'all gonna kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. The South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got BRICS. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We've been hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all. You keep it. We don't want it.
The right is angry. They're always angry. They've been angry since anyone can remember. They were angry when the Union won the Civil War and they had to give up their slaves. They were angry when Reconstruction gave their former slaves the right to vote. They were angry when black soldiers came home from World War I and World War II and insisted on being treated with dignity, having fought for their country. They were angry about jazz music becoming more popular, and then about rock and roll. They were angry when black children tried to integrate schools. The whole history of the American right, whether they called themselves Democrats, Dixiecrats, or Republicans, is a history of rage. And even having, quote, taken back their country, unquote, by putting Donald Trump back in the White House and unleashing Project 2025 on all of us, deleting affirmative action, DEI, black history, black scholarships, black-held jobs in the federal government, having driven women out of the military leadership and ended everything from farm subsidies to foreign aid, while getting away with an actual insurrection, scot-free. They're somehow still angry. And because Q and I work in this space, and I'll speak for you, Q, we know that this is an exceptionally short list of things that these people find a way to be outraged about. Somehow everything is attack on them. Everything is an attack on their values. Somehow everything is an attack on their fiscal interests. Somehow doing anything that helps anybody that's not them is too much. But, bailing out corporations and all this sort of stuff. Hey, we have to remain it's so strange how the justifications for the moves that they're made are often fueled by anger. And I think that for a long time, I kind of suspected that it was true. Then I started to kind of work in this space. and see that it was true consistently. And now to see Joy kind of put it on full display, like, okay, here we are on the other side of Trump's election, on the other side of the better half of Project 2025. And these folks are like, it's Civil War time. They're calling in bomb threats to HBCUs. On and on and on. Just angry. It's kind of a moment where, I think a sobering moment where we recognize that there may not be, I should say, I don't want to speak in absolutes because these are people and these are our countrymen, for better or worse, but there may not be a version of reality for folks on the right and the far right that really feels like happiness. It just is something that is constantly elusive to them because they've already won in the biggest possible way, and still, you know, and I know what you're going to say, so that's why I'm leaving it open-ended right that, and still they find a way to be angry.
Hey, y'all. So the very brilliant and highly intelligent and educated Joy Reid asked the perfect question. Why is MAGA so mad when they already have everything that they want? Sis, you are absolutely right for asking that very question. I was thinking the same thing. They've got the presidency, they've got Supreme Court, they've got Congress. But rage politics isn't about winning. It's about grievance. See, when you've been handed privilege your whole life and you still can't even reach mediocrity, the only thing left to do is blame someone else. That's exactly what they do. But here's the truth. Their anger doesn't scare us because the collective power of us, Black, Latino, Asian, Indigenous, LGBTQ+, the underserved, and every ally, regardless of your color, who actually care about democracy, all of that's stronger than their rage. Thank you, my sweet sister Joy, for saying it out loud. Let's keep reminding them, having power doesn't mean that they own the future, because we do.
They wanted it to be somebody outside the tribe because that keeps the story neater. They wanted it to be someone outside the tribe, someone Black, brown, immigrant, Muslim, someone they could point to and say, see, that's the problem. But it wasn't. It was a good white boy, conservative, religious, and raised within their own religious ecosystem. And that is the part that has them rattled. Because when the violence comes from within your own home, you can't scapegoat to the others. No, when the violence comes from within, you then have to admit that it came and grew out of your own culture. And that takes accountability. And institutions hate accountability. The truth is America has always told itself that violence lives elsewhere. But history tells us, from lynchings to bombings to January 6th, that violence has always lived right here in white Christian America. See, the fact that the perpetrator was a white boy raised in a red state by conservative Republican parents, a good Mormon boy. The neat little story they were hoping for collapses. And that's terrifying. So the immediate reaction is denial, deflection, and rage. Because we know that scapegoating is what keeps power comfortable. And blaming outsiders preserves their moral story that they're the good guys. And that the bad guys live somewhere else. And of course, years of media coverage and cultural messaging with a political undertone has racialized criminality. When most people think about a criminal, they think and picture in their minds a Black or brown person. That's not by mistake, and it should not be the default setting. But it's what our society has conditioned us to believe. So it makes it easier for people to be able to throw violence onto people that don't look like them as white Americans. And when your political identity says that your side is righteous, then admitting that someone like you can commit any form of atrocity completely shatters that worldview. So people cope by minimizing, by reframing, redefining. Oh, he wasn't one of us. Like he wasn't really one of us. or the straight whole roundabout way. Well, it's still the left's fault somehow. It's still the Democrats' fault. And we know that every time one of these situations happens where it is a white shooter, yeah, they get huge media coverage, but not in the same way. They get analyzed as individuals, broken down as people who are within a mental health crisis, rather than proof of a system in need of desperate change. That lets the system off the hook. Put the blame elsewhere. And this is the reason why they're shocked and stunned when it is technically one of them and not one of us. Because now it asks the uncomfortable question that the cult can't answer. What in their culture produces this? What policies, rhetoric, and institutions did they normalize to get them here? Again, that's accountability. And institutions hate accountability. So their immediate reaction is to point outward instead of looking inward. And that's why they just cannot fathom that it was a good boy from Utah raised by good MAGA parents. But we know why. We're not shocked. And also to find out that he's more far right than they are, that he's more extreme than they are, and that this was in essence gang violence, which happened to be his last words, but we're not shocked. We're not shocked.
Young white boys and men are so angry because their parents prepared them for a world that simply does not exist. Their parents prepared them for a world that no longer exists, I should say. Their parents did them a great disservice in this way. They were expecting a world where black people were inferior to them. They were taught that they were the cream of the crop. They were the best of the best. They were taught that their skin color gave them an advantage over black and brown people. And it does, but not exactly in the way they had hoped, right? And because the world doesn't exactly look like how they expected it to look, they have decided to simply create their own reality. For example, them continuously spouting that 1350 thing, 13% of the population of 50% of violent crime. It has been debunked, multiple times all across the internet. But they continue to spew that because that's the reality that they have prepared themselves for. And they're going to stick beside it. Like, they prepared themselves, their parents prepared them for a world in which black people are violent and thugs and bullies and the bad guys. And maintaining that perception is literally what keeps them going. If they ever allowed themselves to believe that black people were actually not the bad guys and that they were the bad guys, they would themselves. And so they have to maintain this reality that they have created for themselves where black people are the bad guys and everyone else is the good guys. The perceptions that they have created and maintain are a big part of why they are alive today. Without that, they would have no will to live. Why do you think they're so rabid in black people's comment sections? They're keeping themselves alive. It's literally a full-time job having to maintain falsities and untruths. This country runs and continues to operate on white people having to maintain the illusion that they are better than us, that they are the good guys. They've even created figures like Superman. They've made themselves the heroes in everyone's story, and they have essentially gatekept an opportunity for other people, for other cultures to also have a say in the narratives that we are fed every day. That's a part of maintaining the illusion, right? They have to maintain the illusion that they are the heroes, and they have to keep black people and brown people from creating narratives of their own that say the opposite. That's why we're underrepresented in media, in writers' rooms, because our narratives will disprove theirs. Essentially, they're under a spell, right? White people, especially young white boys, they are under a spell. They're under the spell that their parents have cast upon them to maintain racism and the illusion of superiority. That's all.
You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry?
This majority of MAGA is down here with us. See, a lot of people got to understand that what's going on right now is hate politics, right? Just get people to hate something so much that they'll throw away their liberties. They'll be stripped of their rights. They'll be stripped of the things that they love. You're watching Arkansas and Nebraska farmers complain about losing their farms. No, they thought that they were going to be untouched. Okay, you're seeing some of these companies, even some of these small businesses, complaining about tariffs and Trump and the price of things. Yeah, they dead ass thought that they were not going to be a part of the masses. That's what they thought. They thought that they weren't going to be a part of the masses. We keep telling y'all that racism is expensive, and you are going to pay that price.
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a
I will tell you why they are so mad. It is because we are not going anywhere. I am Robert Pe0ple, and I am running for Congress for Florida's District 15. If you can donate anything, please go to my bios, the links in my bios, or go to peopleforcongress.com. Now back to this. They are angry because they know what's coming, and there is nothing they can or will do to stop it. See, here's the thing. Power looks a lot different to us than what they actually feel they have. See, to us, it looks like they have all this and they're able to do all this stuff. But the problem with that for them is that they're constantly chasing power. And you know what happens when you chase power? It runs. That's the reason it seems like every 5 minutes almost we're seeing or hearing from them that they're doing something else, whether it's cheating here, whether it's fixing this, whether it's putting this out here, putting that out there, doing whatever. This is because they're not comfortable with the power they have, so they have to continue to try to get more. Now, obviously, just them having this kind of power to do all of what they're doing is problematic for a variety of reasons. However, also keep in mind that where they are and having all this power is like carrying glass. Now, we all know what it feels like to carry glass around, right? You're always worried that you're going to drop it, it's going to shatter, and you won't have that very thing you were just carrying. That is how fragile this power is right now. We're looking at it as far as quantity goes, how much they're able to do. But when you look at how much they're trying to get more, all they're worried about is stacking power as much as they can because they're so worried every single day about losing it. This is why they are angry. And Charlie Kirk just made that worse for them. Because, of course, as they all so desperately wanted the shooter to have been someone from the left, they found out that, as the saying goes, the call came from inside the house. It was one of their own. And remember, they were already dodging us, avoiding us, hiding us. Mike Johnson had them completely leave D.C. because they were so afraid of dealing with us, especially with these Epstein files and so forth. That was before all of this. So do you really think that one of their own doing this to Charlie Kirk makes them feel any safer? I mean, they wouldn't be safe either way if it was someone from the left. But does this help them? Absolutely not. On top of that, this person did this to Charlie Kirk supposedly because Charlie Kirk was not extreme enough for him, and because he mentioned at one point that he thought they should release the Epstein files. So while Republicans were already licking Trump's boots and trying to do everything to appease him and so forth, now the question is, will it be enough? See, if it was someone on the left, they could just carry on as usual. But now it is, are we doing enough? Are we pleasing him enough? Will he lose, faith in us and decide to have us knocked off too? And Trump himself created this environment for them. So they already are looking over their shoulders all day, every day. This did not make that any better. That's not having power. And if that's not enough to accept, look at what Utah's governor said about the whole situation. And I'm looking at my screen now to get the exact quote. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said, in quote, "For the last 33 hours, I was praying that if this had happened here, it wouldn't be one of us who murdered Charlie Kirk. Somebody there from another state, somebody came from another country. It's sadly that the prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for." Wow. Now, this governor decides to stand behind a podium. He decides to speak into a microphone and He mentions prayer, but not I'm praying for Charlie Kirk's soul. I'm praying that he didn't suffer. I'm praying that, perhaps it was swift, whatever. I'm praying for his wife. I'm praying for his little boys. I'm praying for, how the country responds to this. But he says, I pray that it wasn't one of us. That is where his focus was, because he knows what it means if it had been, which we now know it was, one of them. When will one of them be next? When will someone get one of them in their sights like he did Charlie Kirk, because they don't do something that Trump says or wants them to do, and so on? They are mad because of how uncomfortable they are, even with this power, this perceived power that we think they have. This is why MAGA is in our videos and in our comments doing so much talking, because they're not comfortable either. I mean, sure, they can say all the right things, but behind closed doors, they're not in a good place. And for Charlie Kirk, one of their own did him in, so how in the world could they possibly be comfortable after that? And I almost forgot, this website where where MAGA's trying to get people fired for not only making fun of Charlie Kirk's, of this murder, but also just quoting people, or I'm sorry, people quoting stuff that Charlie Kirk has said himself. If they are comfortable, there's no need to do any of that. Because remember, his wife, as she forced tears, said that this unleashed whatever it was. She said, I'm not even going to bother looking her quote up, but basically, people don't know what this means and how this is going to get all this. You don't have to say all that when you are comfortable with the power that you have. And we hear them talking so much about them being angry with the left over this Charlie Kirk situation, and they're forcing every laughable scenario possible. He had a transgender roommate. They influenced him, even though his entire family said they were MAGA or whatever the case. They're trying to force this to be us in some type of way, because they're already angry about everything, and they need to use us. They need to really hide behind us. They're taking out what happened on us, like they weren't already hating us to begin with. But again, how are they more angry with us than the man who put a bullet through Charlie Kirk's freaking neck? We are not going anywhere. I'm damn sure not going. And even though I've never made fun of Charlie Kirk's death, you want to call my boss, feel free. I mean, this will be the phone that rings anyway, so have at it. But this is why they're mad, because they know that at any time, they're going to drop that glass and they're going to lose everything they got. Oh, and there's no need to gerrymander Texas if you're not concerned about what's coming. And there's more, but I'll leave it there for right now. Again, y'all, please take a look at my website, peopleforcongress.com. See about donating whatever you can. The links are in my bio as well. They know exactly what's coming. Help me make sure they get it.
Hey, you just got back from the gym, and I was listening to a creator called Dr. Shantae, who I'll link here in the description. Just go ahead and listen to her post where her question was, why are white men so angry? And her rundown on it is amazing, but my takeaway or simplified analogy in this situation is the black and brown people have been oppressed for so long and had to overcome so many challenges since slavery, Jim Crow laws, and other obstructions and challenges that our society has put in front of them, that to be successful in today's environment, they've had to become smarter, more creative, more resilient, and better communicators to achieve. And as human beings, we are driven to achieve and overcome. That's part of human nature. And I immediately thought of my gym career, right? My gym experience, right? If I'm doing a workout that's for time, and let's say there's a heavy deadlift in that workout, and I look over and I see this guy who is, I don't think should be as fast or strong as me, but he's catching up. He's looking like he's going to be stronger or faster than me. So I sneak a few of my weights over onto his deadlift bar, right? Making my deadlift bar lighter and his heavier. And lo and behold, I keep my lead. I keep beating him in every workout, and I am faster, stronger. At least on the surface, it looks that way. But in reality, what's happening is he's getting stronger by carrying more load, and I am getting weaker by carrying less load. I don't have to be as smart or creative or resilient to achieve through my workout as he does. And so you can see how this analogy plays out. Like, in the short run, you may be able to preserve your superiority. But in the long run, it's failure. It's failure you will experience, because at some point, there will be no place to adjust the playing field, and you will be on level ground. And your opponent in this situation, your fellow human being.
This is all I got from this video. Sorry about that. Firstly, I've been getting complaint that my videos are some stitch are kind of low. I think it's from the TikTok video, because I, even to my great surprise, the sound comes out perfectly great also from my end. So I am a little bit worried. And also sometimes I think you need to reset your phone to increase the volume. It's sometimes not from here. And moreover, also YouTube, they've been having glitches and all that. Hopefully it get fixed. It is not from me, unfortunately. Unfortunately or fortunately, whichever one. All right, back to this story. A very big shout out to Joy Reid. She actually came out with the best. Why are they angry? The truth is that I don't know how you would not love somebody or not like somebody that you absolutely wish that they were the ones that probably did the thing that it's going on. Because all the videos, sincerely speaking, I wish something else can come up, because I am really very tired of this man's death. But though this is also not centered on Charlie Kirk's death, right? But it's more like all round too, kind of, but not completely. The reality is that I have never ever seen people being really very eager to hear that it is from Black people's side. The reality is that so far they are still looking for a way to connect everything to you. To my greatest surprise, I am hearing story that it is because the young man is dating a trans, that they conducted interview. See, I hope you all know, according to the news, that the boy was handed over to them from his father. The father was the one that handed him over to the cops. And then ended up with, like, it is the left that has caused everything going on in the United States. Now, I don't want to talk too much, but I want my people to really be very careful. If you do not have a boss that is smart and wise, a lot is happening. People are being fired from job. They are doxing people, finding out where you work and the rest of it, coming for them, sacking them, and the rest. Like, it's kind of terrible at this point. So please be very careful and mind the people you also accept as friends on social media at this point, because they are going wide to make sure that you do not have job. That is how far they can go to make sure that your life is a little bit not best. But I am going to ask, why are they mad? Why are they still angry? Why are they going gaga? You and I know that they got everything they wanted. There is nothing that they ask for that they do not have at this point in time. The only one that is killing them is that the person they have as the head of the government is like the worst, and the people surrounding him are not the best. They are just chaotic. I have never ever, I've been seeing bad government, sincerely speaking. I've been seeing seeing bad government. When I was a child, I hear it from my father, right? Because he likes politics. Then now I am grown. I have never seen a bad government like this. You know, there are some governments you will be like, oh, at this point, this person decided to change to do something better. But it's been back to back to back. They are so angry. And why are they angry? The vice president is them. The secretary is them. The health this is them. There is nothing that I can say that it is me or my people that is controlling in that house at this point. So why the anger? Why the rage? Why is it that they do not want us to drink water and drop cup? I don't know, but it's kind of infuriating. But we see them. I see what they are doing. I see how bad they want to paint my people. You know, each time I tell you that there is a reason why some certain things happen, I don't know. One of it is that the fact that I ended up knowing Black history is also one of it. Because I probably may have not been interested in knowing what is going on, and they're probably telling half big story, like some people tell. But I am grateful that a lot of people are waking up. I mean, when you open TikTok, you see a lot of African talking about what is going on. That shows that the change that we are looking for, it's almost here. It might not it's probably might have not loaded 100%, but I have huge hope. And I am banking on that hope. You know, the fact that every day they wake up, the only people they want, I've never seen this kind of thing in my life. Sincerely speaking, it's like also a wake up call and awakening for me. Because, you know, my channel is 4 years and I've been doing this job. And I've been seeing people in government. But this one, nah. I said nah. Bye for now.